Welcome back into DLF. I am your host, Justin. Today we are talking through 5 moves to make for Week 7. Now, Week 6 is in the books. That means we are over a third of the way done with the season. But that brings new challenges, new injuries, new breakouts, potentially, right? So we're going to cover all of it in this video here today. Before we get into it, if you like what we're doing, guys, right? As always, subscribe to the channel. If you have questions, you have comments, drop it down below, right? Like the video, hit the bell for notifications. You get this video. You get 5 or 6 more every single week, a couple of live streams. There's a whole lot going on. You don't want to miss any of it. So subscribe, hit the bell. Let's get into it. Number 1 on the list, we are saying sell Allen Robinson. Now, obviously, right? Duh. He's been bad. However, Week 6, that was not the case, right? For a lot of people, they are going to see Week 6, see he put up 17 points, scored a touchdown, caught 5 passes. They're going to see that and say, okay, right? He's coming along in the offense, right? Allen Robinson has found his role. Matthew Stafford and him have the connection, right? He's bouncing back. I don't buy it. I still don't buy it. He still was under a 20% target share. He only saw 6 targets, which ties his season high. I mean, there's still not a lot to like. All that changed was he actually produced with those 6 targets as opposed to basically, right, catching 2 or 3 passes for 20 yards. Like, that's the only difference is the production was there. The volume, the underlying metrics did not change. Allen Robinson is still bad right now. Like, he has just been bad for fantasy. So if there's anybody out there at all, redraft, dynasty, I don't care. Anybody that sees this and thinks this is the time to buy low on Allen Robinson, sure, let them do it. If you can get, I mean, you'd like to get a second rounder for him. That's probably not going to happen. I think it's unrealistic. Maybe you got one dummy in your league that'll do it, but it's unlikely. If you can get a third, 2/3, it sounds crazy that we're at this point in the season. I'd sell Allen Robinson for that. Like, I just want him off the roster. I think he's officially hit the washed up stage of his career a lot sooner than I anticipated, obviously, but pull the plug, get the picks, take some dart throws. I think I'd rather have that over 5 to 6 targets a week. Moving on to our next move. Move number 2. It is to add or trade for Kyren Williams. Now, the reason I say add or trade, he's available in 26% of leagues, dynasty leagues on Sleeper. He's available in basically every league in redraft, so add him there. But if you're in one of those dynasty leagues where he wasn't drafted in your rookie draft, he's not stashed on somebody's IR, this is the time to go and add him, right? In reality, the time was it Friday when all the Cam Akers news broke? But this video comes out on Tuesday, so here we are. But if you're not familiar when I say Cam Akers news, what am I talking about, right? He missed practice on Thursday for a personal reason. Friday, he missed practice again. McVay would not commit to Cam Akers ever being on the team or playing again for the Rams. And basically, it spiraled out of control to Cam Akers is done in LA. That is the news. That is the reporting coming out. And I think that's probably going to be the case, right? I mean, he's been bad. He's been objectively terrible. He's been worse than Darrell Henderson, who has also not been good. And basically they've decided, right, post-Achilles, Cam Akers is not the guy they had drafted. They're trying to get anything they can. In reality, he probably ends up getting cut, which is crazy, and he'll latch on somewhere else. So hold Cam Akers because you're not getting anything for him. But Kyren Williams now, it was already reported he was going to have a big role heading into Week 1. That was what Schefter was reporting. Obviously, he gets a high ankle sprain. He lands on IR. Now you're looking at a 6 to 8 week recovery. And, well, they have a bye week in Week 7. Week 8, he could potentially be activated off IR and eased back into this offense. So for fantasy, what does that mean? Well, one, it means Darrell Henderson, I don't think they believe he's the guy. I think they're pretty aware he's not. That's why Cam Akers was taking work from him. But for now, right, it's Henderson's backfield until Kyren Williams gets healthy. This is a team that is desperate for playmakers outside of Cooper Kupp, right? It's Kupp, it's Higbee, it's a little bit of Ben Skoranek and Allen Robinson. They don't really have a run game. They don't have a presence out of the backfield, and I think that's what they're hoping Kyren Williams can be. So if you can go flip a third-round pick for him, I'm happy to take that dart throw now because third-round picks are dart throws, right? I just said it with Allen Robinson. We're not excited about getting them typically, but if I can do it for a dart throw that's going to play this season, I'll have a better idea sooner. I'm going to make the move. So Kyren Williams, he's floating around out there. He's on teams. He's on IR spots. Make an offer. Maybe somebody's not fully in tune with the Cam Akers news, and they're not reading the tea leaves like we are here at DLF. Take a chance on Kyren Williams. It could pan out. You could luck yourself into an RB2, a flex RB, and look at the landscape. That's great right now. Like, you'd be thrilled to have that type of guy on your team. Small note, we're going to trade Darrell Henderson. That's probably a given, I think. He's not very good, and I think he's going to lose work sooner rather than later to Kyren Williams. Our next move on the list, move number 3, it is trade away James Robinson. Now, all right, James Robinson got back to his ways in theory, right? He out-touched Travis Etienne this week. That's cool. Like, that's great. You want to see that, right? 12 carries, a target, 13 touches. Awesome. Travis Etienne had 12 touches, outproduced him, outsnapped him, outscored him. It's not looking good for James Robinson, right? He was better on the ground this week. That is a fact. But he still just doesn't have the burst, the explosion. Etienne is starting to get work inside of the red zone, inside of the 5. So if that's going to be the case and Robinson is losing work there, he just becomes a rushing-dependent committee back, right? That you have to have find the end zone on a bad offense. Well, that's not what I want. Like, I don't want that guy on my team. If I can flip James Robinson for a second-rounder, if I can go flip him for a younger wide receiver that isn't all the hype, right? You're not going to get Garrett Wilson or Drake London or Traylon Burks or whoever. But maybe you can get Wan'Dale Robinson. Yeah. Make that move. I know Addison's going to like that one. Even George Pickens, he may be above James Robinson at this point, but I'm going to kick the tires there as well. It just looks like it's a matter of time until Etienne just starts to eat into this workload. He's just been a better running back. He's more consistent. He is continually gaining yardage where James Robinson has been big runner bust. And it's crazy to think that that's not Travis Etienne. But that's the world we're living in, right? Etienne has a significantly higher rush success rate. Like, it's just night and day differences between these two guys. It feels like it's a matter of time. Etienne's going to explode. Robinson will be around, but he's going to just not be great for fantasy. He's going to be a better real-life running back than he is a fantasy back, and I want him off my rosters, especially in Dynasty, as he inches closer and closer to free agency here. So, again, you're looking for a second-rounder. Anything less, hold. It's not worth it. If you can get 2 seconds, great. You're not getting a first. We know that. So James Robinson, off your roster. That is the move to make this week. Jumping over to another running back here, and this one is Dynasty specific, and it's gross. It's not fun. Add Phillip Lindsay after Deion Jackson has now gone down with an injury, right? JT is out. Hines is out. Jackson is out. It's just next man up, right? It's not like I believe Phillip Lindsay is a star and this is a game-winning or league-winning move. It's not. It is adding handcuffs because I think we all expect JT to be back this week, potentially Hines as well. But the Deion Jackson injury, that extent is unknown, which means Phillip Lindsay becomes the next rushing handcuff in just a good offense, or a good rushing offense, I should say. But yeah, again, I don't have a ton to say there, right? It's like he's available in over 50% of leagues. He's just a handcuff. It's like the DJ Dallas ad last week, right? You're just trying to stay ahead of the curve, have guys that you can play if someone gets hurt. That's all Phillip Lindsay is. Nothing more, nothing less. He's a depth ad. Take a look at it. Maybe it works out. Our 5th move of the week, it is trade for Romeo Doubs. Now, I know what you're thinking, right? Like, it hasn't been fun since his 21-point game. He has not produced. He has not put up numbers. But the underlying metrics remain, right? He has seen 8+ targets in 3 of his last 4 games. He has been over a 20% target share in each of those games, so it hasn't just been, like pure insane volume with raw numbers. Like, the metrics remain there. He's been the lead wide receiver in targets or tied for the lead 3 of the last 4 weeks. Romeo Doubs may not be a superstar, and again, it's too early to tell, right? He's a rookie. But he may not be a superstar, but he is involved in this Green Bay offense. And that, to me, is something I am extremely interested in because he has Rodgers right now. And again, right, it's Dynasty. We're thinking long term. But if you can earn Rodgers' trust and perform, I like to think you're a good wide receiver because Aaron Rodgers typically doesn't, quote unquote, fall in love with crappy wide receivers because Rodgers is just the most stubborn man alive and won't deal with bad performance. And Romeo Doubs continues to play basically every snap, run almost every single route, and again, continues to be targeted at a high clip. That's what I want in a wide receiver. Again, you're tied to Rodgers. That's awesome. Now, because Rodgers is likely retiring, at least that's the news, makes Romeo Doubs a significantly more interesting trade target in redraft compared to Dynasty, but still, right? He's earning targets as a rookie. That's hard to do. We know that, especially with Rodgers. So if I can get him for a third, a late second, I'm talking have a beat on like the 212 in your league, and if that's what you have, great. I'll add Doubs and take the dart throw because when you get that late, we're all guessing. Everybody can say we're confident in these third rounders. We're all guessing, right? The NFL is guessing at that point too. So Romeo Doubs, I'm happy to move something that late for him. Maybe you flip James Robinson for Romeo Doubs and a pick. I'm into that as well. Romeo Doubs, I like the talent. I like the player. I'm hoping the numbers come because the volume continues to find him. All right, guys, that is all we have for you. Again, if you like what we're doing, subscribe, watch more videos, like videos, questions, comments, drop it down below. That was chaos. Yeah, as always, thank you for watching. We will see you next time.